Between Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant, the MVP race is very, very close. Very close. It's hard to judge. But has another person entered the MVP race that a lot of people might not be talking about? Let's talk about it. When we talk about the MVP race, mostly this year we've been talking about Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry, rightfully so. Stephen Curry's all-time shooting has been great, passing the greats of all time. Ray Allen, Reggie Miller won that feat. He definitely got that. He's definitely the king at the top. He's definitely the best shooter we've seen of all time. You can argue there's a lot of other good shooters that has been out before him that some might say who are just as good, but right now he's definitely the best shooter of all time. And then you have Kevin Durant, who's been doing his thing this year, playing really well. Had the Nets in the number one seed. Definitely doing without Kyrie, and it took a while for James Harden to get on. At least a few games get settled into this season. But up until that time, Kevin Durant has just been dominating, averaging close to like 30 points a game. Just been on a huge clip. Had a 50-plus point game earlier this season, but the one person that a lot of people haven't been talking about in the MVP talks, who I think has surged up to the top, maybe surpassed Kevin Durant possibly, or maybe in the same, area as Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry, is Giannis Antetokounmpo. The man's averaging 27, 11, and 5. And his team is third in the East right now, just ascending the way they're supposed to be doing and getting healthier the way they're doing. And that's just something that, a lot of people are going to have to take knowledge of. Now, you look at last season, Kevin Durant played on Giannis in a 7-game series. Giannis came out the victor in the game 7 on Kevin Durant's floor. I mean, that's very impressive. A lot of people don't want to talk about that. But if you want to go by who won the championship last, he's got to be looked at as arguably one of the best players in the league right now just because of what he's doing. Honestly, I've never been a big fan of the Greek Freak. I mean, I've always liked him, but I've never been like overly hyped on him like that, because I always wished he would just actually work on his jumper. And I feel like he's doing that more and more throughout the years. And I feel like that's making him so much more of a better player. And, even though he's not hitting it at a high clip, he's definitely taking the jumper with more confidence more and more over the years than what he did previous years in his career. And I like to see a player try to just exert himself and have the confidence to go out there and give something a try that he can actually get better at. And that's exactly what Giannis is doing. He's getting better at something that a lot of people think that he wouldn't be good at this point in time in his career, or a lot of people thought he never would even attempt to try to be good at this point in time in his career. But he's definitely attempting it. He's definitely trying, and he's definitely putting in the effort. And I like to see that. And that's the reason why I think he'll always be in the MVP conversation predominantly year after year, because he's so dominant just driving to the basket and dunking. If he actually added a jump shot, he would honestly be about as good, or, maybe close to Kevin Durant on that status, if he did. So we're going to have to see if he's able to do that consistently or continuously throughout his career. But so far, he's done pretty well for himself. I think he's got 1 or 2 MVPs. He's got a championship now. So now, he's definitely on the cusp of doing, greater things. But I definitely think he gets overlooked in regards because of how good of a season Stephen Curry is having. And me personally, I personally put Stephen Curry up there. Like I'd say about a week or two ago, I was putting Stephen Curry maybe, as the MVP, just watching him play and seeing how he's just, dominating the game with his jump shot and moving around the court the way he does. It's been amazing to watch. But at the same time, Kevin Durant has been amazing to watch what he's doing in Brooklyn. But, it's like with Kevin Durant, he does it so smooth and so effortlessly. And like, it just looks too easy for Kevin Durant sometimes. And it looks more like, Stephen Curry has to work for his, you see what I'm saying? So I definitely respect that, both ways from both players. But at the same time, I really honestly think that Giannis needs to be looked at or put in that equation, because Giannis definitely has, risen up to the top. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, if the Bucks play the Nets in the conference finals again this year, and, or last year they played them in the first round or second round, I think. But I wouldn't be surprised if they played the Bucks in the playoffs again this year to determine who goes to the finals. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks pulled off a huge upset again, because like I said, with Drew Holiday healthy and They got a lot of other good players on that team, and the role players on that team fit around Giannis very well. And like I said, Drew Holiday is the key player on that team to me because he plays defense on the opposing team's superstar very well. Drew Holiday is a very good two-way player, very underrated two-way player. So when he's healthy, they just play better anyway. And then Chris Middleton, when he is on, if he can be consistent more with his, jump shot and just with his consistent with his scoring, who knows what'll happen this upcoming this season or in the playoffs, this upcoming playoffs. So, they technically have a big three too, and their role players fit very well what they're trying to do. Now, I don't want to put them up there too high because I still have a soft spot in my heart for Miami, the Heat, but we'll see how they do going forward. That's another story for another day. But honestly, right now, a lot of people might actually look at Giannis as a top in the MVP race, and I wouldn't doubt if they did, and I wouldn't really be mad if they did because the way Giannis is playing and the way he is, constructing himself, a lot of people are not really looking at that in its entirety, but I think they should because Giannis is definitely, a superstar too, and honestly, hey, he's the last one to win the championship, so you know how it goes. The NBA goes through the last one to win the championship, and he was the last one to win it. He was the Finals MVP, and he's been a regular season MVP, so he's proven that he can, dominate and carry a team, and I think that his overall dominance, the way he plays, it just, it just carries that team to another level, and I have to give him a lot of credit. I have to give him a lot of, props for that. So I definitely hope that, Giannis gets more talks into the MVP conversation. I'm not saying that he's going to win it, but I'm just saying he definitely needs to be talked about in the MVP conversation because, he's playing at a level where it's almost like he's playing a little bit better, or he's turning it up a little bit more than what he did last season. It's almost like he's following up last season and, trying to eclipse that a little bit higher and play at a little bit of a higher level and putting the onus on himself to carry this team back to another finals. And honestly, if Giannis finds a way to get back to another finals, like, just back to back, whether he wins another finals or not, but if he finds a way to go to back to back finals, man, you really got to start putting him up there, not only as a top 5 player, you might have to put him in the top 3, in the NBA, so, and maybe most people got him in their top 3 now. So, you have to look at it from that perspective. But right now, the MVP race is close. I think it's closer than what people are putting out. I know it's Steph. It's all about Steph and KD, but I don't think they should throw Giannis to the wolves yet. I don't think they should, wipe Giannis out just yet. I think he has something to say about the MVP race, but we'll see how it goes going forward. Right now, if you ask me, as of right now, I still think that Kevin Durant slightly has it, but it's very slight because of the loss last night against the 76ers. That might have knocked him down a little bit, but probably not much. But I still think Kevin Durant has it slightly, but it's very, very close. Very close. Like I said, definitely Giannis has to be in there. Definitely he has to be at the top of the list. And maybe fourth, Jokic is fourth in some. I heard a couple analysts say they'll put Jokic in there again. But right now, those top 3 should be KD, Steph, and Giannis. Maybe not in the right order, but still, that should be the top 3 right now, and that's who we're riding with. And like I said, we'll see how the MVP race ends up, but it's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a close one, and it's going to be a lot of exciting gameplay from those 3 players going forward. But hey, that's my take in the situation. You leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think, as always. And hey, Cali out.